Hello again. So we are back to the second part, and I'm going to show you now how you will do the second part and finish the workflow. So the second part starts from the join field number 3 and then continues to the add field and so on. So the join field is the first one that we'll do in the second part, and then it should continue from where we stopped. And the input for the join field are the input table is the blue spot regions that we have in the first part, which is the last one or the latest one. So the latest blue spot region we have from the first part was the blue spot region number 7. This is in my case, but in your case it could be any other name, but it should be the latest one or after the calculate field, after it calculates the volume. And then this is the one that we will add as input table. Then you need to go and then find it. Where is this one? So if you see, it's this one, blue spot region number 7. And then the input join field, you make sure that its value is selected, and the join table that we want to join to this blue spot region is the watershed that we have, which is the latest or the last output here. This is the watershed SFF number 4. Then I will have to choose that, go to watershed, and then find the number 4, which is this one. And then we need to make sure that because we want to join the field that's from the attribute table that we have in the watershed SFF. This is the watershed area that we saw it in the earlier in here, and then we open the attribute table, this one, and we want to join it with the blue spot regions and have one common table for both of them. And then so this, and then in the output join field, you need to make sure so you have value. So the value here and here should be the same. Here you select the watershed area, and then when you finish this, and then you just say okay. Yeah, so as you can see that there are two arrow lines, one that goes from here to the join field that we did, and the other one is from here. So as I said before, as you can see, this is a little bit messy here, but don't worry, when you finish everything, then you can auto layout, then it will rearrange it in the correct order. So you shouldn't worry about being messy here. You just need to zoom it and then continue. Yeah. Yeah. Or you can also do it now and then it will go back to the front, but I want to stay just here. And yeah, so then this is what happened, and then the next one is the add field, and as you can see, this were all of those. This were white color, if you remember before. So now they are active, and they are with the colored ones. The next one is the add field, and then here if I open this, and then we have the spot regions, which directly comes from here. The output we have here. And then we want to add a field that says fill up, because this is the one that we want to create a new field in the attribute table that says fill up that contains the field of each blue spot in the depths, that shows the depth or the rainfall amount that to fill the blue spot for each of the polygons that we have. So this is the field that will be created, a new one, and then make sure that it is float and single precision. Yeah, and then the rest is straightforward or the same as what you can see in the text file as well, in the text exercise file. So then just say okay. The next one is the calculate field. Here is where we want to calculate the yeah, so here we want to calculate the depths or the fill up, that is the amount of rainfall that is needed to fill every blue spot we have in this watershed, or for each of the polygons that are created. So for this one, then equation is already given, how to calculate the fill up. So it's basically you divided the volume by the area and then multiply it by 1000. This is because the volume is in meter cube and the watershed area is in meter square. So when you divide these two, then you will get a result of the fill up in meter. But it's basically the rainfall is most of time expressed or provided in millimeter. So that's why to get it in millimeter, then you have to multiply it by 1000. This equation is straightforward, so you can do it the same way as what we did in the previous one, or I can just delete it and rewrite it again. If you want to do, what you can do here is you can have the volume here and then multiply by 1000 and then divided by the volume divided by this one, and then yeah, this one should be yeah, regional calculate field. Yeah. If I go here and see the, when did you choose the fill up here, and then choose this one and then volume. Yeah, I will just need to check because here there is file that I just need to have this calculate field. Yeah, I just need to check if I have the right one. 7, 9. No, I just need to check. Okay, so we will continue with this calculate field. Yeah, so this is what we do with the area, and so we divided the volume with the watershed area and then multiply by 1000. So this was the one that I was trying to write it, but it suddenly disappeared. So if I cancel this, and yeah, so what we do is we multiply the volume by, yeah, if I double click the volume and then multiply by 1000 and divided by the watershed area. So we can use brackets if we want, or do not want to be a problem. I close these brackets and yeah, something like this, or we can also have it I mean without bracket. I don't think that would be a problem. And then yeah, so this is the reason is we multiply by 1000 so that to get it in millimeter, and then say okay. And then we have in the next step is the polygon to sorry, raster to polygon tool, and then here this is the tool. And if I just open it, and then so we want to convert the polygons we have of the blue spot regions into no, sorry, the raster, because they are in the raster. So we need to convert them into polygons. And then our input, the input will be the latest blue spot region we have, which is blue spot region number 4. And then that is here, BS3 number 4. Then make sure that you choose this one as it is, the value, and then we continue to give, yeah, and output file name is regions2 is the name that is also written in the text file, or you can give it any other name that you want. Yeah. but I need, yeah, so this is the one that you can save the file with this name, and then it says also don't simplify polygons. Here it says simplify polygons, so you are not supposed to tick anything here, just leave it as it is, and then say, yeah, just say okay. Yeah, so this is done, and then we will continue with the dissolve in the next step, which is so in the dissolve tool as well, we put the input. Our input is the one we have, the latest one, which is PS region number 2, and then output feature class is the output file name that we want to give it, which is support region number 3. And then it also asks us, it is written in the text to choose the grid code as the dissolve field, and then yeah, and then the join table is no, sorry. So the grid code is the dissolve field that has been suggested, and the rest we keep it as it is. Or the only thing we need to put is the input, which is this one, and then the output name, and then we choose the dissolve field as grid code, and then make sure it create multi-part feature is active. So which means this one is by default active, but you just need to check if in case it's not active, and you make it tick, and then it's active now. Then say yeah, so that one done, and then say okay. Yeah, this will finish the dissolve, and then the next one is the join field we have here. This is the join field number 4. Yeah, so we will do the join number 4, and if I double click and open this, this join number 4 should join the blue spot region we have here, which is the latest one from after the dissolve one, and that will be the input table, and then from that the field, the input join field that you should choose is the grid code, or it will come up automatically, and then the table that we want to join to this is the one we have from here before we convert the raster into polygon. Because why we are joining this is because we want to add the volume and fill up that we have in the blue spot region here together with the blue spot region we have here after it's converted into polygons. So here you need to make sure that you choose the correct blue spot region as the join table. This is the blue spot region number 4. You need to find it. It's this one, and then make sure that the field value is active here, and here is the grid code. Then from the join fields, choose the volume and the fill up. Then say OK. Yeah, so as you can see, this is now connected to here and it's active now. Yeah, the join field is done here, and then we will go to, we have 2 more, not 3 more before the last one, and then so the first one is the make feature layer, which is what we have here. Make feature layer, we'll double click if I check this, and then yeah, so the input will blue spot region number 3, but the latest one, and then you give the output name as blue spot layer. That is what is written also in the PDF text file, so there is nothing new and it's straightforward. Then you make sure that you tick the grid code volume and fill up. This will be active in the new field. And yeah, so yeah, then you say okay, and there's this, the make feature layer is active, and then we have the add field because we want to add one more field for the yeah, because we want to have this field, and then to calculate the fill up plus 20 millimeter, because this 20 millimeter has been decided or assumed as the capacity of of the of the sphere capacity of the sphere capacity that is in this area has been said at the beginning. If you see the beginning at the beginning of the text PDF file, we'll find that's 20 millimeters. So that's what we will bring here. But before this, according to the PDF text, there is one step that is outside of here, one tool that will do, which is the converting of the raster to polygon. Because if you remember here at the beginning we had two rasters, one is for the building and the other one is for the water bodies. The water bodies we already used it somewhere. Yeah, the buildings we used it here as well, and we will also use in the water bodies here. And again we will use this the raster buildings and convert them into polygon because we would like to add these buildings on top of our final blue spot region to see how how many how many buildings will be flooded or will be intersected with this flood area, and then we will know how much, or we can quantify the number of buildings that will be at risk and at high risk or at risk, and the one that will not be at risk. Yes, for that we need this raster to polygon tool, and then this tool, when you find it in the search, yeah, by the way, I can do this one more because all these tools you see here, I added them in the from the analysis tool. When you go analysis tool and then you go to tools, and then you have here the tool that you want to search, and then you drag it and bring it here. For example, for this one, when I want this raster to polygon, then I write here raster to and then polygon. Here is the one, so it automatically shows you here, and then you need to make sure that you choose the one that says conversion tools. So when you have it here, and then just drag it here, and it appears. So this is what I have it here. And yeah, since I don't need it, this is how you do it. So for all the tools, you have to do like this, but this was just because I'm assuming that you are already working with this. You already have the workflow, but you have some errors on some of the steps. So it's much easier to just go in like what I did now, and then go in every tool and then edit it as the same as what I did. So this one we don't need it. Just edit. Yeah, so we'll continue with the raster to polygon tool, and then I will click here. So our input will be the file we have here, our buildings, which is yeah. So if I have here, I don't think I have it here. So here you need to be careful that the R buildings number 2 is the one we have here. So you shouldn't select this, but R buildings is the one that we select. So if you choose this one, it should be the same as what we have here. So I just choose the first one I have here, and then yeah, so I make sure that value is selected, and here you give the file name output file name. So I will leave it the same as the buildings underscore poly, and then yeah, so don't simplify any polygon here, just keep as it is, and then say okay. Yeah, okay, so we need to probably go back here. Yeah, so here there is yeah, so as you can see here, it creates another new R buildings, which is of course the same as what we have here, but instead of having another here, I would like to have the same, to use the same, because this one R building is the same as what we have here. So if I right click here and open, and then select the one that I have here, then it should be fine. If I say yeah, here and then say okay. Yeah, not this one. So what I will do is okay, I will go back here and then choose the not the one but the one we have here. Somewhere here we have another our buildings. This is the latest one we have here, so we can't choose that. It's one of these. So the one with 2 is what we have here, which is an output, which we are not going to use it, but the one with but this is the 2 dot, then this is the one I guess we have. So yeah, then if I say okay, then it should come up here. So which means it should be from here to here and then continue. So then this one I will just delete it. If you delete it, then it will go away. Or if you want to delete that, if I go and get it back, you can either right click here and not, but if you just select it first and then use the delete in your keyboard, and then it will just get rid away of that. Yeah, so as I said, you can see these arrow lines here are totally messed up or messy, but once we finish, then everything will be fine. Then now we are almost in the last step, and that is the add field number 4, which is what you see here. This one we already did it. So the add field, we want to add a new field that says fill up 20 because we want to add 20 millimeter to every fill up that we have. So if I double click here, and you can see you have to choose the latest blue spot region number 34 and then the field name, call it fill up 20. This is the same as what is written in the text file, so just straightforward, and then say okay. Then this will create a new field that says add fill up 20. Then you finally calculate the field, that's what you added now, and which is what you see it here. It's going to be fill up plus 20. And then you need to make sure that you choose the number 3, this one, the latest one, and then you go here. Yes, you can choose that file, and then then here also you make sure to choose the fill up 20, not the fill up, but the fill up 20 is the new one that we created already here. And then you put the equation the same as what is written here, and then say okay. So now as you can see, everything is finished, and then we can so now we have to we can now rearrange our this too much complicated arrow lines and then make them proper line. And then if I click on the model builder and then click on auto fit auto layout, it will make it proper layout. So I will click on auto layout, so you can see now it's straight and very clean. And then so if you see, this picture is exactly the same as in the PDF as well, and the PDF text file or the exercise file. So if you remember that we already run it from here until here, so until here it's run already. So what we need to run is from this until the end we have here. And then we have one more as well here, if you remember this one, the building that we did. So basically there's two options, either to rerun the whole tool, what you have here, the entire tool, or just only select the one that we want, which is from here to the forward, what we have here. Yeah, so so this is from here is where we would like to run. And then just need to check some, you need to make sure that yes, its auto layout is here. Okay, and then fit to window. If you click to fit to window, then it will fit with the screen exactly as you can see here, from one end to the last end, and then the entire flow will be within your screen size. And then now you can see it easily. And then so I will continue to the, yeah, I will just run the whole workflow here because I would like to see if it works as well again. And then, yeah, so I think I suggest you run the entire workflow at the when you finish at the last, like what we did now, then run it. So now I'm going to run, and then either we can validate it first to see if there is something wrong, and then run the tool. Yeah, as you can see here, it has 33, so it's starting one of 33, and then it's running, and I want to see also this and have it here. When it's finished, then I can check it, all the steps. Yes, see, this will take some time, and then yeah, then I will just move when it's finished, and then I will just uh, add the results, and we will see together what are the outputs of this model. Okay, so now the tool, the running is finished. As you can see from this screen, that this is the display. So you can see that there is, or I can go up and then to see if there is any error. Starts from the fill and then goes all the way till the last one. So there is no error, no warning, or nothing any strange or yeah. So from this you can easily conclude that the tool has finished running, or at least the model we built has successfully finished, and then you can check now the output, add it in the arc map here contents, and then see if you have a reasonable result or good result. Yeah, and one thing that you should remember is this, the whole, when it runs the whole 33 steps, it takes some time. So you should be patient, and then if it's running, just don't stop it. Wait until it finishes. It can take 1 hour, 2 hour, or less or more, depending on the area you are working and depending on the PC speed you have. So when you just start and then until it finish, you have to wait and see the output. And yes, final thing I will do is I will just add the results, which are the last step. One is the buildings poly, which is the polygon made from the buildings, because we would like to intersect this building with the blue spot regions or the BS region final we have to see how many buildings will be at risk. And the last one we have is the BS region or building blue spot regions 3 file, and then we need to add that as well. So we need to add 2 files to this content and see if they are good or not. Yeah, so this one I can close it now. Yeah, one thing before I close, also I can save my model here and then save also the whole project here, and then I can close this and then go back to this window and to the catalog pane and then add the new results that I have. Yeah, so just to make sure that I have the latest one, I will right click here and refresh. So this LOS doing refresh is good, then it gives you the latest file or the latest output. Then as you can see from here, I have the one of the file that I need, the BS region 3, the one with 3. This one is the one we did in the first part, but this is the last one, and then the building poly one. So these two are the files that we need. I drag them and put them here. Yeah, so I can uncheck this and uncheck this and this one as well. So I can only work with the buildings and also the blue spot regions. I can also just put down. Yeah. So yeah, from here you can see that the buildings are here, and the buildings you can see here with the light green, and then the blue spots are here. So the next or the last step is to see how many of these intersect. But before we go there, we can also open the attribute table of the blue spot region to see that we have an output. Yeah, you can see that here this is the fill up plus 20 millimeter, and then this is the fill up original, and volume is here. Yeah, so these are the one that we did. And then for the buildings, of course, we have the buildings that's directly converted. Yeah, so what we want to do is now to select this. There are totally, in this case, in this example, there are totally 2,365 buildings, and from this I want to know how many of them are at risk. Or yeah, so I want to select the one that intersect with the blue spot. So if you go to the to this the top bar that you have here, and there are many icons here. So if you click on this one, for example, on the yeah, if you click on this, then you can see you can select which field you want to work on, and then if you click on the map, for example, this map, and then you see that here it says select by location. So this will be very good tool that you can use, and then that will select the buildings that are within this blue spot, or the one that intersect with this. So if I click here select by location, and then so my input will be building poly. These are the one that I want to select, and then that intersect with the selecting feature. My selecting feature will be the blue spot region 3. Then yeah, so you just need to run, and then here it will select the one that are intersected. If I run here, yeah, as you can see now, the buildings that intersect the blue spot region are now selected. So you can see here from the selection there are 618 buildings of the total 2,365 are selected, which means these are the one that if you click here as well, you can see the only selected ones. So these are the one that are at risk. And as you can see from here, they are the one that intersect with the blue spot region. And you can also see in the around the coastal areas. And then, yeah, if you zoom it in, you can also see much more of this. Yeah, then you can also export this file, and then right click, and then data, then export features. Then you will get a new feature that has only the selected ones. Then you can make a map of both the selected one, the one at risk, and the one that are not at risk together. Yeah, and that is all about this exercise 3 and some of the errors that you had. I hope this will help you to finish the exercise and yeah, submit your task on time. Thank you.